from conception to completion. And if you check out my playlist, you can watch everything in between. Lovely people of YouTube, it's me, Papa Santi, and I'm back, and this is my final video in the how to install a log burner playlist. Hopefully you enjoyed the series, and if you did, if you want to subscribe, click like on the video, help give this channel a bit of traction, and I'll take you through the final project. Hope you enjoy it. Well, today's the day the log burner gets installed, so hopefully if the lads aren't too camera shy, I'll put a few clips of them installing the fire. So quite a big day today for the build, because once that goes in, I can start finishing off around it and start putting an end to this project. By the way, I've boarded out the ceiling, that's all been insulated and boarded, and I weren't happy with the original bay window roof, because it weren't flat, and because I lowered the ceiling, it looked out. You could see how much it went out by about 3/4 of an inch. So I've re-leveled, dropped the bay window ceiling, insulated the bay window, overboarded it, so I've got a nice square flat finish. And what I did is, because everybody struggles to try and get fixings for curtain rails in bay windows, is before I put the last piece of plasterboard on, there's a 9mm hardwood ply-up board underneath that, so anywhere that you screw to in the bay window gives you proper good fixing to get some curtain rails or tracks or whatever. Mrs has slat blinds dropping down, so there's a track that runs all the way around the bay window. So what I'll do is, hopefully I'll set the camera up somewhere in here, and we'll watch them put the fire in, put the liner down and everything. We've got to go up on the roof. Well, fire's in, so we can crack on with the next job, which hopefully I'll be installing the mantle and then plasterboarding the whole thing out. So you found this video interesting to watch. I certainly found it interesting, stood talking to the lads, and I'm very pleased with how it's gone. Okay, catch you later. Right, well, as you can see, we've finished the log burner and install and the media wall. So here's a few of the things that I added that I think add a touch of quality to the actual finish. We've got, as I said in, I think it was part 3, I managed to install the lights into the fireplace, so they're all working nice. To be fair, we've never actually used them, but it's summertime and it's not a very dark in the evenings, and I put the fire on now, and to be fair, I'm red hot in here, I mean, it's pointless, but I put it on just for effect for the video to see it all up and running. But to be fair, it does get about 8 to 9 degrees hotter in here than it normally does when the fire's on. And one thing we have found, which is a top tip for anybody that gets a log burner, we've got a couple of these stove fans on top of the stove, and what we find is, obviously it stops the heat from just staying around the fireplace, but also what it does is it distributes the heat into the rest of the house. So if we open up the living room door and have our kitchen door closed, the heat starts to travel up the stairway and helps heat upstairs in the house, or vice versa. If we leave the kitchen door open because it goes straight through to the kitchen, then the warm air travels, and we manage to actually get 2 or 3 degrees warmer. Don't sound like a lot, but it makes a big difference when it's like, you know, 16 degrees in the kitchen in winter, and it gets to like 18, 19 degrees. It makes it a little bit more comfortable, so it saves us having to put the central heating on, which obviously is a bonus, because the price of gas, as you all know, be aware of at the moment, is absolutely astronomical. So yeah, so that's the fire, and we've been really impressed with the fire. Within this video, I'll put on the guys that actually fit the liner, and did a little bit of work, because although it's HETAS engineers, that they have to have a certification so they can sign it off with the council, which is a lot easier for them to do it than me get up on my roof and then have to get someone in to sign it off and everything. So that's the way I did it, but I supplied all the materials. I bought all the materials online. I bought the liner, the plate that goes above, everything as a kit, and then just paid them an installation price and get them hand doing it, to be fair. I bought all these lights I've installed that I think I showed you on the electrical part on the playlist. They're all Bluetooth, so you can actually, I'll just put a little clip on it, they're all interchangeable and individual, so I can change them any colour within the spectrum. And they've got various scenes, so you can have them so that they flash into music and stuff like that, but it just adds a bit more effect. And like I say, at night when you want to lower the brightness down, it's ideal for watching TV. So the mantelpiece I got off Etsy. Actually, I'm not that I think if I'd have done that, if I'd have known what I know about the mantelpiece, I think I'd have made my own. I just wanted to knock one job off my playlist, off my jobs to do list, and so I bought that. And I think, to be fair, for what it is, about 150 quid for an oak, solid oak. I think it's 6x6, 150 square, bit of oak beam, and it's supposed to be in a grey colour. Can't remember what they call it now, but to be fair, I think if I'd have had a bit more time, I think I'd have made my own. But at the time when I was doing it, I've got that many jobs on my to-do list. I wanted to just crack on and get one bought and installed. Obviously all the sockets. I've got sockets, I've said on the video, I've got USB sockets. This has become a little bit of a charging shelf, mobile phones and things like that. There's a double socket over there. That's got the amp that we used to have for surround sound, because I've wired in all the speakers. There's a TV grommet down the side there. It goes through and then comes out the side here, which is that's actually old letterbox. Brushless letterbox cover with the brushes on, just to hide the cables that come out of there. And then obviously, because I put a new ceiling up, I've got the surround speakers. The rear ones are actually not mounted behind us, they're above us. Just adds fun when I listen to music. I quite like listening to music. And then you watch me install the hearth, and then the tiles that I used on the hearth, the like stone slips, if you like. Just turn them lights off a sec. The stone slips there, I've actually used in all the back of all the shelving to give it an effect. And then the bottom one, we've got a bit of a wood store now outside where we sort of semi seasoning some wood, and then in here I've made it a little bit deeper so that we've got 2 lots of, I think in there we've got I worked out around about a month's supply from what we were using early in the back end of this winter, say like March time, February, March. We were using 1 to 5 logs per night on the burner. So I worked out we've got about a month's supply inside. But then as we start using this, I'll start bringing wood back in. It's undercover outside, so it's starting to season, and as it comes in, it dries even more because of the obviously the dry temperature, especially with having the fire on. So hopefully it'll start to dry a little quicker. And what I did to protect the plasterboard shelving, I used the same bit of porcelain tile that we've used on the hearth, and I've just lined the bottom of the shelf there just to stack the wood on, and it just saves chipping all the plaster off the shelving and everything. But yeah, other than that, I mean, you watched me in the video lower the ceiling, so we've overboarded the ceiling. All the plasterboard on this back wall is fire resistant plasterboard, and you watch me stud it all out, and then round the fire surround area I used the metal stud work to fireproof it, and then we've got cement board around the back of the fire also. Gosh, it's warm in here now actually. So yeah, so all that's fireproofed. The ceiling's just obviously standard plasterboard. So we overboarded the ceiling. We realised that the bay window was so far out of level that it was unreal. It just looked an eyesore. So I decided to rip down the bay window ceiling and re-level the bay and insulate it at the same time. And also, you might have seen when we did the ceiling, we overboarded the stud work with foil insulation, you know, like the thermal barrier insulation, which also adds to the thermal properties of the room. So not only have we hopefully increased the heat coming out of the fire, you know, obviously the old fire with the heat outputs now increased, by lowering the ceiling we're actually funneling the air around the room quicker, and because we've lowered it also for the same reason, and because we've also thermally insulated it, hopefully it retains the heat a lot more. Same with when we put a new carpet down, we've gone for like an insulated underlay to stop, because under this floor, it's a timber floor, we've got a void, and obviously we've got airflow, so it's a bit cooler under the floor, so we thought we'd protect the air from escaping by using thermal insulation underlay, and that helps also keep the heat in. So the heat that we've created, we're trying to hold on to for as long as possible, making it much more energy efficient. So what else have we got? Oh, this is a nice little touch actually. I've been quite pleased with it. It's a nice effect. I recessed, you might have seen me, I recessed the TV just to, and I've made it bigger, 7 or 8 centimetres either side bigger than the actual 55-inch TV which was our original TV. That gives us scope for if I get a new TV, and it makes sure it fits. But also I fitted those Govee TV immersion lights, and what it does, I mean, apart from having this camera up the top, which is not the prettiest to be fair, but you hardly see it once the TV's running, it picks out the colours on the screen and then sends them around the back, and it sort of makes the picture a little bit softer. It's not as harsh on your eyes when you're just watching the TV at night because of the back glow, but it also makes the TV area feel a little bit bigger. But I can pull the TV out and then the lights shine against the walls. It gives a nice effect, but to be fair, it does what it does, and we're happy with it. But it's been a nice little addition. But so that's the final install of. That's the final install of the living room. If there's any questions, pop them in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer them as best I can. I'll try and put a few links of a few things that I've bought in case that helps you all out. So hopefully you like this video. If you do, like it, subscribe to my channel, because I think the next one is going to be the garden build, and I'm going to complete my back garden, fingers crossed. And then click the bell notification icon to get notifications to when we upload a video. I'll catch you in the next one.